Greg Abbott and Texas, like many Republican politicians in many red states, want to get in on the anti-trans crusade. They want to attack anything associated with trans people, with the LGBTQ community more broadly, anything. And like for them, drag as a performance art is just a very easy thing for them to misconstrue into other aspects of the community and attack. They think it's an easy thing to attack, but they've also found recently that doing bills specifically to attack drag can land you in some legal trouble, because once you get into attacking a particular type of performance, then that's sort of a speech thing almost. So they decided that when they tried to outlaw drag, they were gonna be safe and avoid falling into any of these constitutional traps or anything like that. So they decided they were just going to sign a bill that stops like adult performances where kids can see it, sexualized performances. That way, they get to get rid of the drag, which they say is sexualized, even if it's not, and then they're good, no concerns. But it isn't working out that way in practice, and I love it. So first of all, Greg Abbott is already undercutting their strategy by tweeting out that they're doing a law banning drag performances in public, which could be an exhibit in a court case at some point, because he's making very clear that they are trying to attack drag specifically. Matthew Segal points out that the bill doesn't specifically mention drag for this reason, that the constitutional thing, but just noting that he is pointing it out. And so, but we need to get into what else can fall under this same area, because you could do this bill wanting to just attack drag. That doesn't mean that's all that's going to be attacked by it. And so we need to talk about a political consultant, Luke Macias, who supported the bill, being questioned about it. And here's a bit of that.
To be clear, your position on this bill is even if a parent takes their minor child to say a drag show.
Yes.
You think that should be illegal?
Yes, sir.
Even if the parent is bringing the
100%.
Okay. So would that extend to a parent taking their child to see a rated R movie? Has nudity or sexual content?
Again, I think the good news is that if this bill in its current form happens to extend to those activities, and that'll be good questions to wrestle with. There is a really good question about how much sex a parent can legally expose their child to. So I think you're asking good questions that really allow us to decide how much nudity can a child be exposed to? I mean, your point of a rated R movie allows for sex acts to be performed in front of a child, for literally, nudity of male and female genitalia to be shown. So if you think that they should be able to, and worst case scenario, this bill also happens to extend to rated R movies in theaters, that would be a huge blessing if this bill actually extended that. I think that would make Texas a better place and protect our children even more.
Okay, so there's a lot that's good there, Francesca. I do love getting clarification on what exactly parental rights means, because they're big proponents for parental rights until, oh no, but not like to do something I don't like. You don't have the right to do that. I think that this thing's bad. So your rights are done. So you could potentially be locked up if you take your kid to a rated R movie. And I love that he's either acting like he's never thought about the implications there, or he actually has not thought about the implications and he is in real time having to think about them. The question was sort of the easy case. It's when you get taken to it, but rated R movies play on TV all the time. You can stream them. So if we get a report that a parent is playing a movie on HBO and their kid sees it, should they be locked up? Should we break down the door and lock up the parents if they put on the most recent Magic Mike or whatever? Does that have nudity?
Yeah.
It is nudity, right? Yeah. Should we be locking people up? No, not enough. It should have more. See, that's what lefties say. And so I love this. So now it was supposed to just hit drag. Now movie theaters need to be policed, and people bring up other stuff too. We're gonna get to some of the other categories, but first, what do you think about this?
No, he is thinking about it in real time. He was just like, oh, that's a good point. And I guess it'd be, that would be a blessing. Hey, let's throw some religious mojo on it. Yeah, that'd be great. No, I love also this idea that Republicans are the ones who, even though they say that the left is doing late term abortions, it's like, no. They're doing the late term abortion, like the latest term abortion possible, which is taking children away from their parents for ridiculous things like drag shows, ridiculous things like rated R movies, and anything else that they don't like. I don't know where they want them to go. I don't know where they want to send them. I don't know, again, which hog farm needs a 6-year-old worker for them to, exploit, who will never form a union. But there you go. There's more on Luke, but I want to get to him because yeah.
And I will also say, I love that, like, look, he doesn't back off of the insane like Christian jihad that they're going on. He also thinks that you should be locked up for showing the kid the movie. But I also love that, like, he briefly has to think about it, that they'll see literal sex and he's like, no, it's a blessing. Yeah, let's ban that too. That's actual sex. Drag generally does not involve nudity. That's an automatic. Drag, which does not involve nudity, automatically you should not be legally allowed to do that. Actual sex, no, yeah, let's ban that too. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
That this is about avoiding the sexual stuff, but the explicitly sexual stuff is not as obviously bad to them as just a drag performance where you're lip syncing to a classic song. Isn't that weird? Mm-hmm. Anyway, we do have more of him. Why don't we jump into it?
Straight sex is good for them.
I guess. Let's take a look at this.
So are you talking about like the ballet performance that I saw my 8-year-old sister perform with other?
Probably ballet wouldn't be the genre.
Okay.
But
so if there's
say modern dance,
modern minors on stage sexually dancing, I don't think that's a good thing.
Okay. Do you think this bill would impact that type of dance performance?
I don't know if it would, but the less twerking that children are doing, the better off Texas would be as a society.
Okay, so a little joke about twerking is supposed to distract from the fact that also all of these sorts of performance arts, just general performance arts that they've never had a problem with, those can be banned too. Other stuff gets raised. So conservatives love Hooters. Hooters is all over Texas. I guess that's done because kids can go to Hooters, so that's sexualized. So I guess they can't do it anymore. Twin Peaks also gonna have to shut down. There's a lot of different brands like this. Twin Peaks has probably been closed for like 10 years. But anyway, yeah, so it's very easy for them to be like, ban drag, it's sexualized, even though it's not. Except they love sexualized performances. People raised, so what exactly about what's gonna go on with cheerleaders? That's a very sexy sort of performance. Are we gonna be shutting that down? Because you guys love football. Are you gonna love it as much without the cheerleaders? Maybe this is not like where the right should be going. The right that told us that we were the nanny state for limiting like soft drink sizes now believes that they should be able to control literally every bit of side boob you see. Maybe that's kind of a weird turn for them and you should be suspicious about it. What do you think?
There's no boobs because we're talking about children. And maybe if you're the Republican Party who is hell-bent on calling Democrats pedophiles, maybe you shouldn't be parsing which things are sexualizing kids and which things aren't in your book, because it's kind of a big tell for you, bro, to be like, yeah, that ballet performance, if there's too much twerking, let's just say, okay, let's just use the barometer of me as a grown ass man. If I'm feeling turned on, then it's sexualizing kids, because that's what they're saying. That's exactly what they're doing. There's no connection between drag queens and drag shows and children. Not even if children are in the audience. There's no connection between sexualizing kids and drag queens. You guys are the ones sexualizing them. You guys are the ones who are saying it's sexualizing kids. So now we're on your little twisted brain sexualizing kids slope, and I don't want to be there.
Again, yeah. Look, it's been pointed out so many times. The issue with like trying to fight back against them saying this stuff sexualizes kids when there are people on the right who have not gone 20 minutes without talking about kids and sex for the last 2 years.
Yes.
Is that they're not being honest, none of them. This is convenient. I mean, every single one of the people pushing this message, but many of the people receiving it aren't literally stewing night after night thinking they're coming for the kids, they're coming for the kids. They want to be in power. They want to be part of a group that's in power, and they believe they've come up with a cheat code. They believe, did you know that if we just say they're trying to F our kids, we can do whatever we want? That's what they believe. They did it back, in the 80s or whatever with the Satanism and the D&D and all that stuff, and attacking the gay community then for it. And now they're just doing it again. They've rediscovered what they think is a cheat code, but it's a cheat code to a future that is the direct condemnation of virtually every supposed ideological stance that they used to take. They are fully in support of destroying parental rights and setting up a nanny state for anything having to do with genitals, just to be clear.
Or things that don't have to do with genitals that weirdly they made about genitals. And you're like, we're watching a dance performance.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.